Welcome.
Hello.
Hi there, guys.
Hey.
Welcome to Weekly Geek Speak. We're coming to you live from inside a Gale. Not Gail Platt from Coronation Street. Inside her non-existent chin and her ET features. We are, it's a bit windy today, so we do apologise.
It's like we're Noah and the Gale. To use old sort of biblical parable.
And sirens, apparently.
They got to throw some Greek mythology in there as well.
Yeah.
The sirens.
Yeah.
Double meanings. Basis of comedy.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Steve.
And we are a weekly geek podcast, Sheffield-based, shooting down your ears on a weekly basis, waffling on about the cool things that have been going on in this world, in the cinemas, in the comic books, and on the television.
You always say waffling or gubbins. It implies that you don't put a lot of stock in our words.
I think it's just shooting the shit.
Is it?
Yeah.
I always think these are like philosophical lectures I'm giving to the masses.
Can that be our tagline? Geekily shooting the shit.
Shoot the
I
shit.
thought I was
weekly.
educating.
Oh, wait.
Is this all nonsense?
Yeah. Oh.
It is all rubbish that some people, for some reason, choose to listen to, and I can't quite fathom why.
Thanks, though.
But we appreciate it, and if you want to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, or Podcastland, please do.
Or YouTube, please.
Or YouTube, because we do have a channel on there. What have you been doing recently on YouTube? With Dan, not personally. Looking up,
I was searching. Some woman had a really fat thumb. YouTube's great. We were playing Captain America and the Avengers. Oh, very soon we've played Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, being intrigued because I've heard a lot about that.
Dan was you were a bit scared, wasn't he?
We take it like pros because we're hard and not girly, screamy men. We played a game called, what was it called? It was like a sex education game where you play with two dolls pretending to have sex. Played that, then played Sims 4.
Wow.
All going up soon.
Wow.
It'll be fun.
Wow.
Fun.
Okay.
I look forward to those.
Yes.
I think.
What was it called now? I think it was What Do They Do? Or something like that.
Well,
Okay.
I learned.
Okay.
I learned stuff.
clearly
I
found
need to
out what
play
they
this.
did.
Watch the video coming soon on Weekly Geek Speak on YouTube. Subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at Weekly Geek Speak. We're also on Facebook. Go find us, facebook.com/Weekly Geek Speak. I think that's the first time in 1990. What is it? How many episodes?
Not 1990. 97.
Episode 97. We're nearly at our big 100, which will also double as our second birthday.
Yes.
If every one of our episodes is a year in time, Lost World came out. Batman and Robin came out. This is our Batman and Robin episode. Nice.
Oh dear.
Oh god.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Oh, way to put it right.
Hence the biblical winds and things coming to an end.
This is when everyone gives up on us and we have to reboot.
You may well have enjoyed last week's Clash of the Titans, but it suddenly occurred to me the other day that we never solved the clash of Ellen Page versus Emma Stone, which is down to the listeners. Now, we have had a few votes, but what we are going to do is if you come to the screening next week on the 7th of April at the Green Room in Sheffield, we will be taking votes there, and we'll be combining them with the Twitter votes, and we'll be getting some comments from the people in the audience on Tuesday to throw in their tuppence and tell us what they think, and then we'll come out with a winner.
Yep.
Coming up in today's show, we will be doing a trailer trash. We haven't done one for a while. We'll be looking at that James Bond trailer and a few others as well, as getting our Avengers geek on, because any excuse, to be honest. And also, Steve has bumper news, and Scott's opening a fizzy drink.
I know.
Now
I'm drinking.
Everyone
the
listen.
A lovely audio medium. Wow, they can pick up every
and now I'm putting
nuance
it back
sound.
down. And now we continue with the show.
So recommend decommend, after pointed out to Scott that he wasn't doing very well. He's now pretty much won everything apart from one game.
Well,
so
not today.
You can't poke the bear like that.
Not today.
Basically, what we've learnt is if you bitch and moan about it enough, you'll win. So,
Yeah,
Steve, you haven't won for anything for a while. So it's
Well, that's just shit.
Yeah.
God,
I don't think
I've watched some awesome films.
Did I bitch and moan? I just pointed out that it was a mass
God.
conspiracy to
I
stop
don't
me
know. I
winning.
bring all these lovely films and I watch something a bit different and a bit out there, and I think these guys would love it, and you go, "Nah, shit.
When you watch,
It's just going in a box.
when
Don't
you-
want to vote for that."
when you watch dramatic reconstructions of the Russian-Soviet Revolution, do you think, "Oh, they're bitching and moaning," or do you think, "Oh, it's revolt that's been coming a long time and power to the people"?
Wow.
That's what I think.
They didn't make a musical out of it, so I'm not
No.
bothered about
Yeah,
that
that's true.
revolution.
It's
So.
true.
No.
Anyway, so yeah, it's time for Recommend Decommend. And Scott, what is Recommend Decommend?
It's our fortnightly catch-up game where we pick the best film we've seen in the interim and we all pitch it forward, explain why we like it, and eventually vote to see what we put forward as a podcast. And we do the same for the inversely good ones, aka the bad ones, that we call decommend, which is such a good word. We put it in the dictionary, and we had to replace that dictionary after they didn't like us adding words to it willy-nilly.
You got kicked out of Waterstones. What are you doing? Nothing. Shh.
It's like when we broke into that church and started adding Bumpy Goose stories into the Bible to make it more exciting.
But
Yeah.
when that priest, when that vicar didn't notice and he started reading the "It's a hose pipe" in his mass, that was awesome.
What?
I think I combined 2 or 3 religions
And
into that joke.
And so clashed the hose pipe with her dolly. At what?
And he
Jesus.
said, "Thou hast a hose pipe."
Kneel before me.
Oh man.
So yeah, that's what Recommend Decommend is. Steve, you are going first, and what film are you recommending this week?
Okay, so it's going to be good because I've watched 2.
Yay.
Oh Jesus, I think the roof's coming off.
Yay.
Jesus, we're lots of biblical references today.
Yay.
Okay, I like this. So I've watched 2 films, and it's actually been tough to decide which one is my recommend and which one is my decommend.
Which one's your Old Testament? Which one's your new one? I'm not going to explain which is the good
Right.
one.
Okay, my recommend, I've been toying with it all week. My recommend is Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh, okay.
I might talk myself out of this.
Okay.
It's been difficult when you realise the decommend, you'll go, ooh.
Now it's normally 2 good ones, so there's 2
Yeah.
middling ones.
This is too middling.
Do you know when you
Yeah.
were trying to like manipulate things so Steve would come out flying? It's over.
So,
It's not quite worked.
I know. Yeah. Dumb and Dumber 2 is a great classic film. I mean, we've given it its airtime.
Is it?
And
It's
it's
only been
brilliant.
out a few months.
It's great. The original.
Do you mean the first one?
Yeah.
You said 2, that's why. That's why.
Hashtag
Captain Pedant saves the day!
WGS pedantry
I've worked
for
Steve
anyone
out
that
now,
wants
though.
to pick it.
Steve doesn't have enough words to finish his sentences, so he adds them on in different places.
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
the 2 appeared.
That's
then.
what happens. Yeah. I'm making up for it.
Dumb and Dumber 2.
The first one's really good. It's funny. It's of its time. It's very much Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels are great in it. It still holds up. It's not quite as funny as it was, but it's a great film. I'll happily stick on and watch. Did we need a sequel? No, is the answer. I don't know. It's a shame. It was nice to see them that they can still play the characters. Jim Carrey's 52 now, and he's still running around. Harry and Lloyd, they're great. But there was lots of just little, what worked in the first one? Let's make a joke about that and reference it. So it was kind of like an homage to the first one, but just a humour fell flat. And a lot of the quite amusing stuff they'd spoil in the trailer. There was kind of this long build-up to something, and then you were like, oh, so that was the joke in the trailer. Oh, I kind of saw that coming. Really? So they put all their eggs in a basket, shown the trailer and gone, actually, here's the padding around those jokes. It's a 5 or 6. It's probably a 6, but I've toyed with it. So yeah, watch it if it's there, but it's a real reluctant recommend, and you'll see why when you see my decommend.
Okay. So high recommendations there. I can't really bring something amazing, so I'll bring something that was just good but flawed. The film I'm choosing today, I wasn't completely happy with it. There was things wrong with it, a lot of things wrong, and that is The Voices with Ryan Reynolds. The Voices, Ryan Reynolds projects his voice into a cat called Mr. Whiskers, who tells him to do bad things, and a dog who is his good side, basically.
Right.
And basically they convince him to... he ends up killing his fancy, if you like, and puts his head in the fridge and it goes from there. So it's kind of his story of being a nice man in a delusional world where he thinks what's right and wrong. It's a little bit misses the point it could make. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it kind of shoots its arrow relatively straight, and then it kind of doesn't quite hit the target. It doesn't quite work, but there's some very good performances. Ryan Reynolds very good in it. The very last bit, the scene in the end ruined it for me a bit. If you've seen it, some people like it. I really didn't.
Okay.
But it's kind of, you see the world through his eyes and bright and colourful and merry and things, and then when he comes off his meds, or you see it from someone else's point of view, and you actually see the reality of it. In that sense, it was a lot like the remake of Maniac.
Oh, right.
How he sees things and things. And it's a very personal view. So it's kind of... And what I was saying last week was, could this be dark? And it was dark. There were some great dark moments. It's just not quite... It's almost a hodgepodge of ideas that doesn't quite move. The cogs aren't quite moving together quite. So that's why it was a 67 for me.
Okay.
So that's my recommend. It's pretty good. It's okay. It's worth a watch.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll stick with me. But in terms of the Deadpool thing, it shows he can do humour well, and Mr. Whiskers is what a cat is.
Right.
Evil.
Right.
67's a high score.
67, yeah. So yeah, the voices. Scott, I wonder what you're going to bring.
I'm going to bring Chappie.
Chappie.
You do not steal Daddy's car. Chappie.
It's a South African film. That was South African accents.
Yes.
Yeah. For clarity.
Yeah. Me and Andrew went to see Chaperone.
Chaperone.
Chaperone, that's the upmarket version. And I really enjoyed it. It's not perfect, but I really wanted to see it because the trailer made it look like this fascinating blend of like a Short Circuit and RoboCop. And what I didn't expect is it for it to be quite literally a blend of Short Circuit and RoboCop.
Okay.
To the point you think it's like that sort of thing as a child, if you'd go like, I wish they'd put these two films together, and then someone did, and I just called it Chappie.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed it. Gets a bit out there towards the end. I can imagine it lost a few people, but it made me care about something that doesn't exist. And I'm always impressed at filmmaking that does that. And just a lot of the imagery, because it evokes all these other 80s films I love, that I couldn't help but get a sort of vicarious enjoyment from the sort of... Not very articulate today, guys.
Welcome to my life.
But they all make sense in my head. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I really liked how much I came out hating Hugh Jackman's character.
Okay.
Any time there's an antagonist, I actively loathe. I like.
Right.
I just thought it was an enjoyable watch. 7 out of 10 feeling.
So there we are. Our lineup this week for recommended is Dumb and Dumber 2, The Voices with Ryan Reynolds and Chappie. And it's Steve to vote first. You have The Voices and Chappie.
Both films I want to see. I want to see The Voices because I've heard very, very good things about Ryan Reynolds, and everyone's just... I think the overwhelming thing I've heard about Voices is that everyone, like you said, has said, oh my god, this bodes well for Deadpool. It's almost like a Deadpool like audition, if you like. It's him going, look, this is what Deadpool's going to be like. Whereas you really sold Chappie because it evokes all the 80s films and the idea of just smashing Short Circuit together with RoboCop and evoking all the 80s things. I'm glad it does that because that's what the trailer sold. And Neil Blomkamp is...
It does do that in South Africa with loads of dubstep.
Yeah, and I
so it does have modern twists.
Yeah, but the idea that, you know, I just think, yeah, he's a great director, and I've heard very good things about that. And I think if I went to the cinema to watch either one, it would be Chappie over The Voices. I think The Voices I would wait for DVD or streaming. So I'm going to go Chappie.
Which puts Scott in the voting seat next. You have Dumb and Dumber 2 and The Voices.
Well, I'm not going to pretend this is difficult. One's a sequel I didn't think should exist. Begrudgingly accepted it does, and maybe one day we'll give half a chance to one day, but I'm not that bothered if I never see it. I like the first Dumb and Dumber, don't get me wrong, but I think it got away with stuff rather than begged for a return. And Voices is... It's got people talking. The harshest critique I've heard of it is still fairly high, and that's probably Andrew's just now. And it just sounds interesting to me, at the very least, and also darkly funny and comic. And I really strongly imagine it's a film I'd like, so I've been really wanting to watch that. I probably will in the next couple of weeks. Therefore, I'm going to do The Voices, which I've not seen either.
So, Dumb and Dumber 2, I'm intrigued to see. But I'm not going to lie, Chappie has to be for me, and I went to see this as well, and it would have been my recommend. And if I was to put any negatives to it, I think it's great that Diane Wood are in there. I think it's cool. They're cool.
I'm sorry, I'm really old. So they're a thing, are they?
They are.
Yeah.
Are they really big?
They're not really big. They're kind of they're getting
bigger.
Should I know them?
They've been around them quite a while, and they're getting...
If I was still young, would I know them?
Maybe. I think they're good. I like to see them. I like Diane Wood. I think they're overused, and I think they need some more acting lessons.
Right.
I think Yolanda is better than Ninja. I think you can tell Neil Blomkamp's a fan, but he's fanboying over them as opposed to using them how he possibly could. But the thing with Diane Wood is their style is brilliant. The imagery is great. It works for those kind of criminals, and it made them likeable enough for the point that they were playing. And then you've got this kind of Chappie storyline with called Dev Patel. It's almost like he's in a different film with the Chappie, and then Chappie's like having these two films going off at once with the different sides. What I do really like about Chappie was how you do immediately humanise Chappie.
Right.
And to juxtapose the two images, there's bits where Chappie's getting kicked and beaten up, and there's bits where just a dead robot's being kicked, and you don't put any stock in that, and it shows you what a soul is, what consciousness is this a lot of the message in the film.
Right.
I feel it could almost push itself a little further into that kind of theory, but it keeps it a little bit lighter, doesn't it? It's trying to be a fun action film as well as a good science fiction movie, and it just about achieves both, but not enough to be more than a 7 for me. However, it's still a really good film. Still love Neil Blomkamp, and I love the imagery. I'd like him to move away to South Africa. I'm pretty sure he will, unless Alien is now going to South Africa. And District 9 still holds for me his best movie, but Chappie's a really fun film, and definitely worth a watch. There have been some negative reviews. I think it's because it is less serious and less theory based perhaps than his other two. It's more fun and light and a bit goofy. But it worked for me. I enjoyed it, but I can see both sides. You know, it's very much I can. Unlike Superman,
that's what you expect to want out of it.
You've both totally sold it. You've not.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
So your recommend this week is Chappie. Decamend.
Mend.
Sorry.
Steve, what are you decommending this week?
I am decommending the Aaron Paul epic that followed Breaking Bad, Need for Speed. You know I love Fast and Furious. They're very silly throwaway. There's a plot, but they're great. You know what you're getting. It's like it's like Jason Statham films.
Rewind.
You know what you're getting.
Rewind.
Loosely based
Rewind.
plot.
Okay.
There's a vague narrative running in amongst the cars.
Can you explain that to me?
Running in amongst the cars.
Can you explain the plot of Fast and Furious to me?
There's some stuff and some things, and some cars go really fast.
No. All jokes aside, what is the plot to Fast and Furious, Steve?
There's a cop who goes undercover and tries to catch a street gang, and then some stuff happens, and then he turns on the wrong side, and then they all have another street gang, and then in the second one it turns out that he's been, and there's all twists and turns, and you have to watch all of them. There's a thread that runs throughout all of them.
It's too complex.
Yeah,
it's a very complex.
It would blow your mind if I sat here and told you.
Right.
It would bore the people. It'd be about half an hour.
Right. Well,
there'd be diagrams and post-it notes. And
Sorry. It's like an elaborate.
Yeah, be like the inside of Steve's brain.
It would, yeah.
Just red ribbons connecting everything.
And all the post-its would be different colours. just to mess with your eyes.
Where
But
does
yeah,
The Rock fit in?
So Aaron Paul
Yeah,
didn't
well,
impress you.
Aaron Paul didn't impress me. What did impress me was the visuals. They clearly, like, you know, when they buy into, you know, oh, let's put the game title on, because the games are just driving, and the plot is, oh look, we need to catch this criminal, and there's not a lot of, but there's some really nice sort of slow down shots of the way the cars are, and there were some really, really cool action sequences where it felt like you were watching the cutscenes in the game, and it was like really nice sort of really well framed stunts. But short of that, I couldn't tell you what happened. It just didn't. It just got to the end and went, yeah, that was right. Okay, so that's my decommend. Can I watch anything worse? And then I watched Dumb and Dumber 2 and went, oh God, well, this is difficult.
Do you think it's called Need for Speed because you have a sudden need for a palate cleanser, so you put speed on?
Possibly, yeah.
How should?
Maybe
I want to watch a good version of this.
Pick up on that. It's like in Fight Club, there's little flashes of Keanu Reeves that come up every now and again. I suddenly want to watch. But yeah, just fell flat. It was a 4 or a 5. It had, like I say, it had some nice action sequences in, but they just clearly bagged Aaron Paul because Breaking Bad got really big, and they went, hey, we'll pay you some money to promote this title. Nah.
Mine is Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life.
Oh.
And for the life of me, I can't think of why I would sit through that. But
Is that the one with Daniel Craig in it?
No, that's
the
the first
one?
one. This one's got Gerard Butler in.
Yeah, that's
It's the most
But
awful
she's
film.
sexy.
No, that's my only positive. Is I'm never going to say no to looking at Angelina Jolie in a swimsuit. Sorry, I'm a red-blooded
What about
male.
Chris Barry's foppish butler?
That really doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work at all for anyone.
Um,
Is it Cradle of Life when John Voight turns up after she touches it?
no, that's the first.
Is that the first again?
In this one, she finds now the
Is
plot.
this the sexy fight thing outside of a shower? Is that the first or second?
That's the
one?
first one. You've just watched.
Why? Why do I keep thinking?
It shows you how memorable this one is.
She does have a sexy fight with Gerard Butler when he's in a towel, I think. But I can't.
Oh, that might be what I'm thinking of.
What annoyed me was the little things that were incredibly Indiana Jones, like holding this ancient thing up, so it would show National Geographic filmers of lions running around in Africa in a very kind of like, you know, when he holds the thing up to the light
Yeah.
and it points out where it is.
Yeah.
Then the whole end bit had shadow people in, and it was just unbelievable. There's pointless action sequences on crap CGI background, and I was like, is this older than I thought it was? Because the CGI is terrible.
Is it the one where
It
they
was
find the
2003, I think, this
Three.
one. There's annoying bits like she cuts her own leg underwater so she can summon a shark, so she can ride the shark out the water, and then a submarine picks her up.
I mean,
What?
Yeah.
it's my recommend. Yeah, you win. Oh, did we move on to?
But it's and then there's not much to the story, and it really did. The ending just didn't fit. Like, we're going to a fantasy place in the middle of a volcano, past the old Tim Burton trees with the shadow warriors from Harry Potter that don't really make an appearance. They just kill one person off camera. So that isn't really lived up to. It's just really bad. Like, shit, we need to make another Tomb Raider film. Get this A-level film student to write a Tomb Raider story.
Right.
It's terrible. It's really
Ever
bad.
since you said shadow people from Harry Potter, I'm like weirdly like I need to remember their names because it's in my brain.
Dementors.
Dementors, thank you. Demented.
Scott.
Let's see. Actually, I watched Masters of the Universe again. Someone's wondering. But I'm not going to do that one. I watched Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, which is one of the DC straight-to-DVD films based on the Flashpoint storyline, which instigated the sort of DC comic reboot of the New 52 and stuff.
Okay.
So basically, after a particularly emotional day, on the anniversary of his mother's murder, he remembers the fact he can run so fast he can travel in time. So goes, oh yeah, I can save her. But in doing so, he causes a wake of destruction as Superman no longer crashes in Smallville. Hal Jordan no longer becomes Green Lantern. Aquaman and the Atlanteans and Wonder Woman and the Amazons go to war resulting in the end of the world. And Bruce Wayne dies instead of Thomas and Martha Wayne, and so Thomas Wayne becomes a Batman who drinks and shoots.
Right.
Okay. And it's just really weird Elseworlds cool going about it, and then it's a good Flash story, and it's just got a really weirdly cool Batman moment ending that I love. I know this is Deaky, but I think it's quite solid and nice, and I really enjoyed it. Because I've not really watched Old Bad.
So you have to bring a couple of bad points though. If you were to pick some, if you had to, what's the negatives in there? What prevented it from being your recommend?
I guess a lot of the dialogue's a bit stilted. It's apart from sort of deadpan, grim, humoured Batman, it's devoid of much smiles or knowing humour. And they could have fleshed a few more things out, but chose not to. But I think it's really good, actually. So don't vote it.
So probably the most reluctant. So Stevie,
go watch it.
Right.
We've got Justice League Flashpoint Paradox and Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Filth.
Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life. I've seen it. I don't remember anything memorable about it, whereas the first one...
I remembered 5 things earlier. Did that not jog your memory?
They were from the first one.
But there's that bit when...
It shows you how memorable.
But there's that bit when she first... that's the first one.
Oh, yeah. I have seen the second one. I do remember going to the cinema to see it. I do remember a massive pang of disappointment. It's not stayed with me. And to hear you say that it's not very good. The first one is good. It's nice to see like Angelina Jolie, strong female lead, doing Indiana Jones style stuff. But yeah, the second one does sound like they shoehorned it in because they needed a sequel and they wanted to make more money. Whereas I don't normally watch the animated things, but you sold it very well. And Mark's always gone on about the Elsewhere stuff and the paradoxes, and you don't need to know all the backstories and stuff. They're kind of a standalone, interesting story that actually, if you know a lot, you can kind of go, "Well, that's different," or "They've changed that," but they sort of seem to work as their own thing.
That's why it's quite a cool thing, because it's just cool to see like everyone just a bit off kilter or a bit darker and a bit left of centre. And
yeah, so you sold that, even though you decommended it. So it's going to be Tomb Raider: Cradle of Filth.
So I vote next. You haven't really made it that hard a decision, Scott. That sounds an interesting viewing.
Have you watched it?
I will put it on my stack of DC animated films that I need to watch, which
like
is now
all of them.
Like all of them. But Need for Speed from the off. I mean, Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious doesn't turn me on. So Need for Speed, which is a cheap knockoff found at the back of Poundland, I'm not gonna. We're being shellacked.
We are.
By
honestly,
Jesus.
people will not appreciate this unless you have vivid memories of this day in Sheffield. But it's absolutely, without exaggeration, every weather condition imaginable has happened, and it's barely 5 o'clock. and periods of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm convinced, I'm in the Truman Show and the weather machine's broken.
Or we're in the Hunger Games in that clock sectioned one. So every hour the weather changes to different things.
Within half an hour, it rained like strong wind, shone as bright as summer, snowed.
All the clouds vanished at one point,
and then I heard thunder.
Yeah,
it was madness.
Not cool. I don't know.
So my vote, is easy. It goes for Need for Speed.
Cool.
So Scott, you secure this.
So it's Tomb Raider, Cradle to the Grave, and Need for Speed to make it tolerable. It's not a good sign if you need to resort to drugs to watch a film. I don't think the first Tomb Raider was good either. But what the first Tomb Raider had going for it was the fact I was 13.
Yeah,
it had that going for it good. But the second one, I think I saw that as well. But as I've evidenced, I remember it really well. My only prevailing memory of it is half a memory of a fight scene and knowing it was worse than the first one that wasn't good. And I don't doubt that it's probably kind of unwatchable for me from a 2015 looking back standpoint. Whereas Need for Speed, I wouldn't watch if you threatened to kill my entire family. I'd be like, do it, we're all dead anyway. And then I'd go watch something else. So it's a tough one this week. They're not all dead, I don't know why. I wanted to sound all bleak and morose about what existence itself. I wasn't suggesting they all died this week.
No.
So don't feel bad, people. I think probably Tomb Raider. I'm sure Need for Speed's probably, 10 minutes shorter or something.
So Tomb Raider.
Wow.
And Steve still hasn't won anything. As we recommend Chappie, and Tomb Raider 2 is decommanded, and we're about to be washed off the face of the earth now.
It's time for the news.
Yay.
So in picture news, we've had a lot of
Picture news?
Yeah, we've had a lot of.
Is there news about pictures?
Yeah, we've just done a lot of pictures recently.
Well, they do
so,
say 1,000 words, so you
yeah,
read that article.
exactly. So we got an awesome picture of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool in his costume leaning against the fireplace. We got the image of Jason Momoa as Aquaman without the words, and we also got Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. So those are the three.
So let's tackle the
pictures.
Three. We're doing it as a three.
Yeah, I thought I'd lump them together.
I'm going to be WWGS Pedant now.
Go on.
He wasn't leaning on a fireplace, he was on a rug.
Well,
Sort of bearskin rug in front of a fireplace.
In front of a
It's
fireplace.
one of those, is it? Right.
Well,
I'll keep a little tally. That's
He
two.
was evoking Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
There's two there.
In that poster you've got above your bed.
I think it looks spot on.
It's Deadpool. It looks cool. It's not a shock because we've seen the test footage, so I didn't freak out or anything. Look cool, look funny, referential. I'm wondering, are they going to have an explanation for the white eyes? It feels like they always feel like they have to explain costumes.
I think they should just go with it. He's the perfect one to just go. This is what Deadpool is.
But Deadpool's the kind of character where he'd probably just make a joke about it. It just looks awesome. I'm well in. The Aquaman we've seen is just textless.
Yeah.
It's ramping up. The teaser is max a month away. Mad Max.
Mad Mo.
Hint,
Mark
hint,
him out.
hint, hint, hint.
Yeah.
So that'll be very exciting. And Lex Luthor, yeah, he was always going to be a bold Jesse Eisenberg shock, but he looks
Bold.
He looks bold and serious.
Pretty hardcore.
And I expect tomorrow Lex Luthor to be bold, serious, and lots going on. We only see a fraction of a window of a jigsaw piece, and then we all speculate of what the picture's going to look like, and everyone flips out or gets excited.
I really like the angle they're taking, that Lex Luthor is younger because Superman's younger, Batman's older. It's almost like this DC universe, the times have shifted a little bit, which makes it more plausible that Batman's done all of his Batman stuff by this point. And this is where the world is changing to superheroes and super superheroes and aliens.
Because I've always kind of believed that, because in a world of Superman, even if you had this deep desire for justice and vengeance and whatever, you'd probably just be like, that guy's got it covered.
Yeah. Don't need him,
Well, leading on from that, to carry on the discussion, Batman vs Superman, the plot details have been released. It's not very much, but Superman is no lackey of the government. If anything, many of the world's governments distrust this guy. But it's Superman who goes to Gotham and starts the confrontation at the behest of Lex Luthor.
It's very clear to me all along Lex Luthor was going to be the one pitting them against each other, because he's a highly intelligent, resourceful, manipulative person. I just want an intense fight. I want Batman to win, and I want them to shake hands and team up together against a large threat and be best buds. That'll be your basic outline. It should definitely be that. Any variation of that's wrong. I want it to be more dense and layered and thematically interesting with great character moments. But your basic right on a matchbox through line should be that. Antagonist turned bros.
That can be the tagline.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they do intro Aquaman and Wonder Woman. And
I honestly don't think Aquaman's going to be much of a thing in it.
I think he's going to be a reference, maybe.
He really isn't. He's not worth talking about in the context of the film or anything, if you know what I mean. He's just a bit of icing that confirms in it, if you know what I mean. It'd be like trying to make us excited for Nick Fury when Iron Man were coming out.
Okay,
that's what I'm thinking.
The Ant-Man cast member Bobby Cannavale, who plays Paxton, has been chatting to Comic Book Resources and has said about the film, there's blue screen everywhere, but it felt like an indie film and the script allowed them to improvise. It felt like Marvel is going for something different, and it didn't feel like Thor or the other things. It felt more like Guardians of the Galaxy and brought a certain levity to a superhero movie that he hadn't seen before. It's due to drop on the 17th of July 2015.
I mean, you can only... The unmitigated success, the biggest stud's still a highly watchable, entertaining film. I'm told. I'm joking. So I'm sure it's fine. I will say it's the most meh I've ever been for a Marvel film coming out,
which is weird because we've been on a right roller coaster with it of excitement and expectation.
And it's definitely the worst trailer they've ever produced for a film. In that I'm not bothered remotely. Okay. But it'll be good because they all are.
Fair enough.
So I think I agree there. Pretty much it's... I think I'm going to be pleasantly pleased with it because that trailer made it seem so average. It'll be fine.
Okay.
It'll absolutely be fine. I'm expecting a 7 and it won't be less, and I doubt it'll be more.
Cool. A film that we get to see in just over 9 months' time. J.J. Abrams has spoken out about Episode 7 spoilers and said that his dream is that despite so many rumours, many of which are true, many of which are untrue, when people see the movie, they will see something that hasn't been completely ruined for them by having read spoilers they might not want to have read. It's kind of going, guys, sorry, there's spoilers out there. Some of them are true, some of them aren't. But he wants this film. Rumour the trailer is going to be shown before the Avengers.
Okay.
But that's just rumour at the minute.
I kind of like this sort of... I almost want them to not bother. You don't need to sell Star Wars.
No.
And I
can't. How good would that be? No trailers.
I've seen enough.
Weirdly, honestly think it'd be more... What's the word? There'd be a bigger buzz the less we know. Because I've got such a buzz for it based on nothing.
Yeah.
So. Asteroids now.
Yeah. What haven't we had? We haven't had a tornado today.
No.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
No, we're horizontal asteroids. Wow.
Just proceed. It's nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
It is. We're on that boat still sailing.
And we've referenced it. They know what's happening. They're not going to be confused and mad and angry. Do people get mad and angry when they're confused?
Well, probably. I don't know, do they?
I think they do, actually.
They're like a cornered bear, then yeah.
Very light background noise on my podcast.
Loud noises!
3-star review.
We can't afford the soundproof studio, guys.
Sorry, guys.
You're getting...
Send your egg boxes to PO Box 107.
So yes, Star Wars, good.
Yeah, good. Looking forward to it.
Don't show trailers. I'd be happy with
exactly.
that.
I've seen enough.
I'd still jism over the fact if I saw one.
I'd watch one 80 times and dissect it 8 ways from Sunday, but like I'd invent a new day and dissect it on that day.
Yeah.
but
and spoilers are avoidable nowadays because I know things are happening in The Walking Dead. And I know someone has died or something big has happened, but I don't know anything about it. I'm just going, okay, something's happening, and I've managed to blot the world out.
It depends. It really depends. Like for instance, I watched WrestleMania yesterday. I don't want to date this episode, but we're not recording it live, people.
What? Shattering the illusion.
But we are on a boat.
Oh, we're definitely rocking on a boat. And I couldn't watch it on Sunday night except to get up on Monday morning because life. So I had to wait till Monday night. So I had to go a whole day avoiding the internet. But it saddens me whenever you have to make such a weird sacrifice to avoid something you wouldn't gleefully look for. Isn't it?
However, on the flip side, I think one of the great things in this world is if you do watch an event like that, you can look at Twitter and you talk along with Twitter and everyone's going on about it, and that's amazing. So I kind of get that, and that's where the sports side of wrestling, that's where it's similar to sport because people will freely tweet about
sports
it.
entertainment.
Yeah.
By the way, WrestleMania was awesome. And that's as much as they'll let me talk about it.
I don't think
Awesome!
I've tweeted you loads of wrestling links this week.
I don't think we've ever said you can't talk.
I don't think you've ever cut me off at the knees with
Things
it.
Scott can't do. Talk about wrestling. Meet other people. There's a list.
But it's the only two areas of my... Well, in fact, you won't let me talk football. But like the only three areas of my likes that you two don't quite share, so I don't feel like I can, because I feel like I bore you, or I'm relied upon to carry the conversation on my own as your eyes glaze over. It's football, wrestling, and Dragon Ball Z, and so I weirdly have it pent up because I get to talk about all sorts of this, and then that gets pent up, and then eventually I'm going to splurge on someone.
What happened in WrestleMania then?
This week on Scott Talks Wrestling.
And it came out of nowhere. It was fucking Suplex City. Anyway. That's right, yeah. Yeah, so...
Did The Undertaker win this time?
He did.
Spoilers?
Well, you shouldn't... Beat me. Beep it out. Beep out my response. He asked me a question.
So you haven't watched WrestleMania yet?
Yeah.
Spoiled.
So basically, don't listen to podcasts because they actively spoil things.
No, you're telling people to not listen to it. Oh,
Well,
And this is why we don't let you talk wrestling, because you spoil it for everyone else.
what if you beep this?
No, I'm not. No.
I mean, no.
And that's the end of Scott's wrestling section.
tune in next time. Star of This Is England and Misfits, Joseph Gilgan has joined the cast of the Preacher TV series. He will play comedy vampire Cassidy, and Ian Coletti of Raken, the TV series, will also play Arseface.
And then who's Tulip got announced as well, didn't she?
She did, I didn't.
From Shield.
It's Raya from Agents of Shield.
I didn't see.
Can we not call him comedy vampire? It gives him a weird image in my head, like some sort of like whoopee cushion placing, like. Would you like a piece of gum? Whoops. I'm a comedy vampire.
I'm really excited about Joseph Gilgan being Cassidy. I think it's actually could potentially be an amazing bit of casting. He's very witty, he's very funny, he's very...
I can't imagine him putting on an accent. But I don't think he needs to be Irish. But I do think he needs to be weird, like from the UK.
Definitely. So
maybe they can get away with it. I love him. I've always thought he's great. Even in stuff like Lockout and stuff, he's the only one who does what he does, even if I can't quite define it for you.
But do you know what he does really well as well is he can hit those emotional levels, and there's obviously the three-way love thing going off in Preacher. And we've seen his relationship with Lol in This Is England, the TV series, and he can pull your heartstrings, especially in the latest one. That really shows that he can do Cassidy. I believe he can do it.
He can be lewd, crude, funny, and weirdly sympathetic and sweet underneath it all. He's got that down. It's weird. I never thought of him.
No.
But as soon as I heard it, I went,
yes.
That is
definitely.
almost weirdly,
It can go two ways with Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, isn't it? Who's writing it. It can go two ways, and hopefully it'll go the right way. But the casting news has kind of pricked my ears up a little bit. As for the guy playing Arseface, if he can wear prosthetics and dribble, then he can play Arseface.
He's just a young actor from a TV show in America,
I'm looking forward to it.
Agents of... Is she a good actress in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
She has a recurring role. She plays shadowy and ambiguous a lot, so I don't think that show gives her much room to stretch her acting muscles much, but she's alright, she's pretty, she's cool. I think she'll be... It's a bit different. I look forward to giving her a shot.
Cool.
She's fine.
Thanks to James Wormsley at Artie Fufkin for this one, who tweeted a slow-burning, emotionally charged zombie think piece starring Arnie. Having watched the trailer, Maggie, the straight-to-VOD and DVD movie, is a post-apocalyptic zombie thriller telling the story of a teenage girl who becomes infected with a disease that's been turning people into zombies. It gets a May the 8th release date in the US, but there's no UK release as yet.
Well, Arnie got inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame this weekend during WrestleMania, which was interesting because during Triple H's entrance,
Right.
he came in as the Terminator.
Oh,
Spoilers.
Really cool. I'm just going to apply everything to
I
wrestling.
like it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I've watched the trailer. It looks quite good. It's quite
It does.
sort of emotional.
I've not heard anything about it weirdly coming out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
I'll give it
Because
a go.
Arnie and Zombies. Yeah, I'm into that.
Looks pretty good.
Into those
Works
things.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another news story that's come completely out of the blue. Joseph Gordon-Levitt has now signed up to produce and star in a live-action Fraggle Rock movie. The film made by New Regency and the Henson Company and Lisa Henson. There's no other word of plot. Or
Did you say out of the blue?
Out of the blue.
So we'll see. We'll hear back.
see.
We'll hear back.
Because the other day, when you said you won't like this news, Scott.
Yeah, and then
You
I did.
you did say you won't like this news.
Did I?
Because I listened.
Oh.
The recordings never lie, Steve. The beauty of
With Weekly Geek Speak Pedant number 3.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on the little note. There we go. It's 3.
Pedant Mania.
So yeah, Joseph
I
Gordon...
felt like that was. Do you know when you're watching a film and then it always feels odd as they say its title, especially if it's towards the end.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I guess we're
Yeah.
Guardians of the World when you're watching Guardians of the World.
Yeah.
Great.
I feel like that was the moment. Pedant Mania.
I'm going to have a new section. Right. Stay tuned for new sections, people.
And every time we're going to say something that sounds like it might be the name, you have to do a dramatic pause and then go, what are we talking about?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing Fraggle Rock.
Weird.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
I'll watch it. I'm up for that. Yeah.
As long as the tune's in it.
Yeah. Definitely. I think we discussed before
I love the Fraggle Rock tune.
when it was rumoured, and now it's just kind of, it's all good. So with cinematic universes cropping up everywhere, we've got Marvel, DC, the Universal Monsters one they tried, Star Wars, now Ghostbusters. Paramount's now in the early stages of putting together a Transformers universe, with trying to get Akiva Goldsman on board to work with Michael Bay and Steven Spielberg and producer Lorenzo de Bonaventura, who did all the films.
Can
So
I
they're going to
point
expand
out
and make a...
that there already is a Transformers universe. Like,
Well...
they have 4 films and a mythology and a defined universe shown within 4 films.
They want
So
to
they've
branch
got
out
that.
and do...
What do you mean branch out though?
More-
Not using the Transformers?
Probably, I don't know.
Because, like, unless they're like including things that also exist in the Transformers universe, then I don't know why they have to call it a shared universe.
I don't know.
Because a franchise is, by implication, is a universe that is shared between the films.
It's true.
Unless you completely shift focus, which makes it pointless.
Maybe it means spin-offs and TV series.
They've bought Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh.
So they're going to get Optimus Prime and then a new modernised Gordon the Engine coming down. And Ringo Starr still narrating it.
Ringo Starr narrating Transformers. Can that happen?
No.
I might watch that. I haven't watched any of them. I might watch that.
You would not.
Oh no! Oh no! Said Bumblebee.
But Bumblebee doesn't speak.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so it don't even work.
God.
If anything, Bumblebee's
Right.
probably used Ringo's voice.
Number
during-
4.
That's just a fact, that's not pedantry.
It was.
Are you actually keeping a tally?
Yeah.
He's being a little mardy bitch as usual.
Can we get to 31?
Can we? We'll see. The long muted and rumoured film, The Bill and Ted 3, may be close to happening. Plans were announced in 2010. The script was allegedly complete in 2013, and Alex Winter said they're really, really close and playing an active role in trying to get it greenlit.
Is that excellent or bogus in your eyes?
It's in the middle.
They went a film
It's
called
excellent.
Middle Adventure or Middle Journey.
Well, maybe that's what this one's about.
So
Middle
choose a
Quest,
side, man.
But let's add to Middle Quest.
Middle of the road.
It's bogus.
Oh, you're going negative, are you? Hmm?
What's wrong with bogus? Did you not like it?
Oh, I see what you've done.
Oh, I thought that's what you were doing.
Well, I was. It was very clear what I was doing. I don't know. It'll be stupid and unnecessary and shit. But my God, I'd probably watch it.
Yeah.
So,
the fact is, we'd watch
so
it.
Exactly.
who's the idiot in this equation?
Right. Yeah. Last month we spoke about and got quite excited about the news of a live-action Zelda TV series, but in a recent interview, Nintendo's Satoru Iwata, the CEO of Nintendo, has said that rumours were inaccurate. As of now, I have nothing new to share with you in regard of the use of our IP for any TV show or films, but hopefully it's media savvy, because they have backpedaled before when announcing the 3DS XL, and then they said, no, we didn't. So they're not.
No,
yeah, so it was all official and now it's unofficial. I like the idea of it happening.
I with all the games and stuff, you've got enough things to mine to potentially craft something amazing. You could like slow tease like the Majora's Mask and Ganon and sell the Triforce, and then you've got this brilliant ready-made fantasy world in Hyrule, and the idea of this like reincarnated hero through time, and you could do so much potentially with it. But I did think when I heard it, like, whilst I always kind of wanted something like that, I always thought, really? It just didn't seem like what Nintendo do or what.
It came through official channels. That's the weird thing. It wasn't a rumor, and now he stepped up and gone, nope.
And it's something that could easily be cheesy and rubbish.
It could be,
you know, and it could go either way. I wanted it to happen because I was fascinated and I'd watch it. But
again, like we said, Link talking.
It's more
have to be done well.
It's more they've gone out of their way over the 30 years probably. 30 years? 1985? Is that the first still?
Yeah.
They've gone 30 years never having him speak, apart from in an ill-advised cartoon.
Yeah, really ill-advised.
So it'd just be odd to cast someone and what do you do? Make him a mute? It'd be hilarious. In fact, yeah. Can we do that? It'd be awesome.
Yes.
Also, it was announced that there's going to be a feature-length animated Batman movie with Adam West and Burt Ward in there.
What, like a 66 one?
Yeah.
Great idea. Like, I'm aware sometimes I sound sarcastic when I'm really sincere. That's the most sincere thing I've ever said. Like,
I'm seeing your face.
Do you know weirdly?
So
do you know weirdly when like you hear something and then you feel vaguely like an idiot? Like, yes, that always should have happened, but you didn't think of that. Why haven't they done that 10 times? They didn't have to stop being Batman. We can make animated 60s.
Oh my God!
I'm watching it.
Your face lit up. It was just really cute.
That's
watching
right,
your
good.
face.
Why has that not happened yet? Why has no one thought about this till 2015 April? Fucking humanity's stupid, but awesome because it's coming.
Oh yeah.
You can see what emotional rollercoaster I go on when I first hear the news.
And the Walking Dead spin-off has a title. It's called Fear the Walking Dead.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
I do fear for the fear of the Walking Dead.
And that was the news.
Trailer Trash is where we watch some trailers that are out and about, and we kind of look ahead to what's coming. And where shall we start? Well, Steve brought us Southpaw.
Yeah.
AKA Rocky 2015.
Yeah.
It's a boxing movie. There seems to be a lot of them. A fighter has some tragedy and has to get his life back in order, doing something he's falling out with, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
And Jake Gyllenhaal doing something a bit different.
Yeah, well, to see him go from Nightcrawler when he's incredibly gaunt and vaguely skeletal to like he's buff, he's meaty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive. It must do irrevocable damage to your body to shoot from one to other in short space. Remember Christian Bale doing it for The Machinist.
Yeah, Machinist and
Batman. So it looks impressive. Looks like there's a lot going on. Looks like it'd be quite enjoyable throwaway drama. Such things do exist. That's it. Looks cool. I imagine it'll do well.
Yeah, it looked like a strong, gritty drama. Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm up for it. I'd watch it. And Jake Gyllenhaal does look incredibly impressive.
Yeah, he's an actor
in the
that
fight scenes. He's really sort of.
I felt hasn't really found his defining role yet. In a way, I think there's a lot coming from him, and he seems to go from strength to strength. He needs a superhero role.
He does.
Ooh,
thank you. He should have been Rick Flag, which is he's holding out. He's holding out.
Is he? He's holding out on us because he needs a superhero. It's a fact. the next thing, which I think is a film which has an amazing premise with the worst cast imaginable, and that is Pixels.
I think you just nailed it on the head. In that half that trailer, you spend going, "This is such a cool idea. I love this. This is awesome." And the other half of the idea is someone's spliced in a horrible Adam Sandler, Kevin James movie that wants to make me cry.
Yeah.
And then you're left with this weird paradoxical, like, I wanted that to be cool.
Yeah.
It really is a way to. It's like buying you a new toy when you're a kid and then just smearing a shit across the front of it.
It is like your favourite toy as a kid. Someone's bought you Grimlock from the Transformers, and then put shit on it, and then gone, I will only let you play with this covered in shit, and if you try and clean it, I'll take it back. So you're there going, like touching the tail and moving it, like really delicately.
This could be amazing.
Yeah.
Got smelly fingers.
Why would someone wipe shit on it?
Yeah.
It's cruel.
I mean, at least Adam Sandler has done some good films in there, some entertaining films. Kevin James, I'm struggling to think of one.
Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Paul Blart
It's
Mall
got
Cop.
a sequel, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
So
You've
many
seen
people loved it.
You've seen the poster.
Yeah.
God, the trailer for that. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Why aren't we trailer trashing
I
Paul
know,
Blart
right?
Mall Cop 2?
Because it's got too many lulls, we might.
Yeah, you should. It'll just be a succession of, and that bit.
Oh my gosh, do you remember?
And that bit.
How do you feel about them driving cars named as the ghosts and things from
From Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool touch with the Pac-Man going around
So
the
I mean,
city.
half of
nice.
I should be loving that trailer.
Yeah.
It's an incredible idea. The opening bit, because I didn't know it was in it. I just sort of somebody linked to it, saw the Pac-Man face, and went, oh, "Okay."
It looks
and then
like the trailer's like,
No.
look at this really bright
Yeah,
idea that you want to see.
And
Cut to Adam Sandler's amusing me tut.
Yeah.
Pixel over there. Cut back to something really cool you want to see.
Visually, it
Cut
looks
to Kevin James.
stunning.
But in a way, if it was, I'd be excited if it was like Jonah Hill and Seth Rogen and that gang. I'd much rather watch, and at the same time, I'd like to see some complete unknowns do it, because I think we do get the same American comedians churned over and over and over. But really, like, the worst idea was to put Adam Sandler and Kevin James in. It feels a bit like a dagger to the heart in the sense of something that looks amazing.
It's like people love video games in this kind of style and they'll really like it. What don't people like? Oh, Kevin James and Adam Sandler. Let's try and make them popular by putting them with something that everybody loves. It might work. I'm not.
It might be.
It might work. It might be great.
I mean, from the focus group of everyone around me, everyone hates Adam Sandler and Kevin James. But there's a reason there is 80 million Adam Sandler films and he keeps doing them. People watch them.
He's got some great ones.
And that's why studios think, Adam Sandler. So, not everyone does hate him. And that's what irritates me.
I don't mind him. He's done some crap. But
I like Wedding Singer, I like Waterboy, I like Billy Madison.
Yeah.
I like a lot of his early throwaway comedies. That's what he was good for.
Bedtime Stories was good.
Throwaway comedies in the 90s. Perfect, man. He's perfect. And then he should have, died. I'm joking.
Along with your family.
I'm joking. I'm gonna rewind on the magical remote.
Yeah.
Like,
references.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is the worst.
I didn't.
What is the
know
worst
as well.
Adam Sandler film?
Do you like all Adam Sandler films?
No.
You don't like Little Nicky?
I didn't like Little Nicky. I didn't like the Sun one. And yeah.
Steve.
Steven! Hey, why didn't you like me, Steven?
I found my voice.
Mama says.
Oh, that's good.
If I watch enough films, I might be okay.
Jack and Jill's got to be worse.
I've not seen it. I've heard so much. Part of me wants to watch it. It's instilled that much rage in people that I really want to watch it.
Quentin Tarantino's in Little Nicky. There you go. And some people
Didn't sit right with me.
Some people think that's a sign of something.
But Pixels, it still could be good, and I think that's the thing we've got to take from it.
But just because the premise is interesting and it's going to touch on a lot of jokes I'm going to appreciate, like retro gaming stuff, I'm going to reluctantly end up watching it. I just hope somehow it's not ruined. I've got big reservations, huge reservations, giant reservations. Gazelles would roam gleefully around the reservations I have. It'd be too spacious for all the gazelles.
Yeah, all the gazelles.
That's how big my reservations are.
Dear.
Hashtag all the gazelles. Just to keep you updated on the weather situation, now we have glaring sun.
Yeah, and I'm
on
blinded
the
on my
It is
right side.
madness. We're not recording this like months after each other, as it feels by all the weather.
God.
As well pointed out by Steve as well, we are British, we have to talk the weather.
Yeah, we've
Well,
got
we
to
do.
chuck in the weather.
The weather mania. Sorry, it's a callback centric episode. This is when we go too far though. That's a callback.
I like it.
What's the next trailer?
What else can we watch?
Next up on the trailer stack is the return of Daniel Craig as James Bond Inspector.
Yes, very shadowy, teasery.
Very dark, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Things are afoot.
Yeah.
Things
things
are
are
being revealed.
things are feet. I think it's very intriguing, looks really good, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't get stupidly gleefully excited for Bond films because they're a known quality. I'll watch it. It'll be fine. It'll be good.
That's now they are.
True.
They weren't for
True.
a long time. I was
But
wondering
even so, even when in the Die Another Day horror show, I knew I was going to watch the next Bond film. You just do. Well, it's Bond, isn't it?
You
Like-
are kind of accepting of the badness because you'll still sit down on a Sunday afternoon, and if it's
Yeah.
on, no matter which Bond film,
Exactly.
you'll sit there and watch it for half an hour and then wander off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think I've watched a full Bond film since. Well, I've watched the Skyfalls, but you never revisited a full one. I just seem to catch them in bits between putting off housework and things. Oh, there's a bit of Roger Moore.
The
on
one
telly.
Bond film I don't think I've ever watched all the way through, but I've definitely watched it all because of sections, is Octopussy. For some reason I can't sit down and watch Octopussy. I go all over the place.
like in Octopus's arms.
I think I just felt missold. I think that's why. What are we talking about? Spectre.
I'm not a Bond fan.
I liked a lot of the shadowy inference of Quantum of Solace and Casino Royale, and I really wanted that paid off. And it sounds like they're going there now. And there's a lot of shadowy this, that, or the other. I'm hoping it's all leading to Blofeld.
Shroud and Christoph Waltz is very interesting.
Exactly, and the more classic Bond iconography they can sort of get back into this almost sort of canon continuity, which Bond's never had really in these films. It's a bit chuck everything at the pot. Who cares if his face is different or this, that, or the other? It's just another Bond adventure. I kind of like there's a continuity with these Daniel Craig ones, and so I want they can do that whilst evoking classic Bond iconicness and stuff. Then it's on to a winner for me.
I like the cultish feeling of Spectre as well. Everyone's
bit
standing around in
Hydra,
a
isn't it?
room, and it's really like a bit eerie. I like that. It's got an interesting slant already. This is you watch that trailer more as if you're going to watch a drama more than, and I like that in this one. I know that it'll have its set pieces. I know it'll have its stupid.
I want it to
chases,
be
but
like Bond gets to Spectre and it's like eyes wide shut. They've all got masks,
they're
just
all
having
just
sex.
fucking, yeah.
And it's like, oh, Mr. Bond, you finally made it.
That's expected.
We were all waiting.
Now come get noshed off by Ed Goose.
Noshed off by a goose.
That's what happens in Spectre.
Is it? Oh. I might watch it.
They call him Blofeld for nothing.
Oh, blow
What's
foul.
that mean?
Oh. Poor pun. Oh God.
So, if you enjoyed that trailer, let us know what you think. But now we're going to the exciting TV spot for Avengers Age of Ultron. Really, it's an excuse for us to talk Age of Ultron one more time before it actually hits our screens.
Like I say, they could release 80 TV spots, and each time we'd see new, cool, amazing shots and action sequences from a film that feels like it's still holding 80% of it back, which is almost frightening to contemplate.
There were two things I take from this. Obviously, I knew that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are Russian, but to hear his voice was pretty cool. Quicksilver, and also using Thor's hammer to waz. It's Captain America's shield.
Waz.
Yeah.
Waz.
He wazzed his shield.
We haven't had the new one for ages. I like it.
Waz.
It was wazzing. But how else would you describe? It's winging towards you and you wazz it.
He hit it.
That doesn't get it though, because he hit it. But I could hit Steve if I was to wazz Steve. Somewhere in this word is
okay.
logic.
Okay.
I can't quite find it myself.
That's fine. I liked the Cap riding him outside, going, I could just throw this. I like that because I'd think like that. If I was strong, I'd be like, you know what?
Why don't I just?
Why am I messing about?
Waz this man.
Waz the shield over there.
Hulk, Waz!
So one thing we know, Age of Ultron will have a lot of wazzing.
Yes.
It
did look good.
Really cool. Sold all day long. I've seen enough now. Don't want to see any more. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the film to just wash over my face, neck, and chest.
I want to watch the premiere. I want to get there first. I haven't felt like that for a movie since Dark Knight.
It's definitely a first 2 or 3 day job because it's going to be everywhere. It's going to. I can't go more than a day without the internet as we've cleaned.
Oh my god! I can't believe the Hulk died. Or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to happen, but someone will say something like that.
I can't believe Spider-Man flew in and wazzed Hulk.
Spider-Man would waz. Actually,
Spider-Man would he? No,
I think the Hulk would waz Spider-Man.
Of course he would.
Yeah.
It's not a question.
Yeah, he would.
Who could catch him?
Let us know who would waz what, and if you would waz the goose.
The scale of waz.
Off. It's the end of the show, and we are going to the Great Book.
The Great Book.
The Great Book is the book we read from. Book.
Big, big.
I'm going to waz open my book, and we're going to read.
You've changed the meaning now. You made out this was a thing. Like, people said this for this context, and then you suddenly now it's like Smurf.
No, it's an.
I wazzed up a right meal, then I wazzed Lucy in the face, then went out and drive my waz to waz.
No, waz the tea down.
It sounds like you're listening to Jamie Oliver.
What is waz?
I think I can put it in my blender and have a wazzy woo woo. Fuck off! Anyway, The Great Book is a book I wrote with my sister when I was but a child, based on Goosebumps stories. They're scary, apparently. I don't think we've been scared yet. Anyway, it's a big one. It's a return of a great character. It is Return of the Hosepipe Returns Again.
Oh my god! We complain a lot about horror sequels. And then Andrew started it.
Yeah, he did. And the shared universe.
This is the 3rd time the Hosepipes return.
This is the 3rd instalment. Can we top the first?
So, Return of the Hosepipe returns again.
Ignore us and everyone and just go with what feels right. Just let yourself go.
Rotten Apple was playing Tig with his friends Lulu, Somwell, Nigle, Nigle Tug Somwell, Somual,
Somual.
And what he's done there, literally, as a kid, because I can think like
actually, I'd read that as Niggle.
Niggle.
Yeah,
Nigle.
probably. He probably was sat next to someone called Sam and Nigel. If I just play around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Samuel.
I'm looking forward to reading about the adventures
and
of
nothing on Rotten Apple as a name.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay.
What's wrong with Rotten Apple?
Okay.
There was a Johnny Rotten.
Alright.
Okay.
Apple is Chris Martin's kid.
True.
Johnny Appleseed's thing.
So what are we What's he called then? What are we saying?
I'll go with Nigle.
Nigle.
Even though there isn't an accent on the end.
Nigle.
I'd say Nigle.
I like Niggle.
Niggle.
I quite like Niggle.
Niggle?
He sounds cute.
Yeah.
Alright.
Like a little Niggle.
Niggle Tug Somwell. Alright. You're on! Yelled Niggle.
He said what?
You're on.
You're on. Why are you doing a face?
Hello?
He's getting right into
Why are
it.
you doing a really
You told
weird
me to
face?
ignore everything, and now you're looking at me and
But
judging
that was
me.
before you did a weird face in my face.
Just carry on, just get in your own zone so you can ignore the little pest poking you in the corner.
Okay, I am, said Somwell. Suddenly, Rotten Apple tripped over a sewer slot.
What?
A sewer slot?
What's a sewer slot?
Those slots on the side of the road where you...
What do you mean
Drains.
Drains?
Drains.
Do you mean drains?
No, I mean sewer slot.
I think it was a better word.
A sewer slot?
Okay.
A sewer
Is that what you
was.
see?
A was.
Wizzy wasn't
With wad woo woo.
Up appeared a hose pipe. It's a hose pipe.
Oh, it's like that scene from It,
said-
isn't it? When he's in the sewer and he's
Yes.
like, "This blue."
Is it? No, he's in the sewer slot. And
Yeah, sorry.
It wrapped itself around Rotten. Rotten wiggled and squeaked. Lulu grabbed the nozzle and she drank all the water in it.
Look, I don't know, is it just me? But I swear this is all his weird, like, his instinctual psychosexual feelings manifesting before puberty. Is it just me?
What?
I think you could die.
I want to be tied up and shove a
You
nozzle
want
in
some?
me.
You want some
Yeah.
phallic thing to be sucked dry of liquid? Is it?
Or is it, what does it say about you?
Yeah, I know. You read a children's book
It's
and you
just
take out
turn it into
sexual meanings.
It's been a few weeks.
So she sucked the nozzle.
Except she didn't.
She didn't
Well,
drink
she
all
did
of
or
it.
she
drink it.
didn't.
She didn't. She drank all the water in it. Except she didn't.
Oh.
And then the big reveal of the picture. Ba-ba-da-ba.
It's coming off the top of her head like a bow.
And
No, that is a bow.
Oh, is it?
that's
Uh,
about
what-
I
What's
thought the water pressure had somehow like
Blown her head.
blown her through her head.
it squirted everyone. The end.
He gets more villainous every. He's a scamp, this hose pipe, isn't
It
he?
is.
So there we are. That's this week's Bumpy Goose story.
Did you like have a notepad full of ideas, or would you just see what happened as you started typing?
You sit down in front of the computer and you just let the fingers do the work.
That's how Scott spends Friday night. What? Oh,
These are what? These wine.
sorry, what?
I romance myself. I light a candle.
And then drip the wax on.
And then just have a good was.
Steve, what time is it?
It's time for This Week the Geeks Have Spoken. Thank you as always for your tweets, interactions, pedantry, and others, and just general praise, retweets.
Don't think we've had enough
everything. We haven't
pedantry.
had any for a while. It's
It's been
I
at
mean,
least half an hour.
you guys clearly miss it, so you're bringing it back.
Oh, I can't stand pedantry unless I'm doing it, and then it's right on.
Hashtag WGS pedantry.
I always say wrong words. So,
I just make words.
And
well,
I forget words.
Oh.
Well, as always,
together we are.
Wrong words, forgotten words, and new words.
Yay.
Get on with it, Steve.
We'll start as always with the hashtag 3-word reviews. Thank you kindly for them all. Pete Bushbauer, the king of 3-word reviews, is on an epic quest to complete watching 365 days before the year is out, I believe, now, after managing 352 last year without trying. He's now seen 112 films, so he's well on schedule for the
I'm sticking to
almost
my
the August,
September.
if he carries on at this rate.
No,
Okay.
you've got to remember, summer's coming.
No.
That does affect
Summer
stuff.
brings film festivals.
It does bring film festival. It also brings nice weather.
Outdoor film.
Oh, we should play frisbee when it's
We
nice.
totally
Frisbee.
Frisbee.
Have we ever played frisbee?
No, we should.
Where's this come from?
should. Frisbee's fun.
Just summer.
Yeah.
In
Summer. Oh,
Oh, it's
we went
back.
there. So he saw At the Devil's Door. Copies horror classics. 6 out of 10.
Horror classic.
Yeah.
Cool.
The Voices, fantastically hilarious. Psychosis, 9 out of 10. Followed with honestly incredibly dark, much darker than the trailer lets on. It's even a little sad, but also hilarious.
Seems to have come out of nowhere and then just grabbed everything. It just sounds like everything I like about offbeat.
It's weird. It is like an indie film which has managed to catch an A-list cast somehow. It's good.
He is A-list in that as well now, but he does feel like he needs a few of these, if you know what I mean.
He's had a bum deal over the past few years.
Yeah, he needs a couple more of these and Deadpool to do well to get cooking again a bit, doesn't he?
Definitely. Wild Canaries, humorous but flawed, 5 out of 10. And Meatballs, Bill Murray's debut, 7 out of 10.
It was.
Yes, not seen it. Either
I've
of you?
not. No.
Okay, thank you for those, Pete, and good luck with the quest.
I have
Carrying
seen
on.
Garfield too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, nice. Man of. Well, how was it? Okay.
Not as good as Garfield 1.
Oh, okay. Murray's finest work. Yeah. Man of many names, at Sparky Wright, who has chosen this time to be called Arnie Wangthrob. He's definitely like a Bumpy Goose character. Edge of Tomorrow, surprisingly enjoyable Looper.
Certainly is.
What was that, sorry?
Surprisingly enjoyable Looper. Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. I liked Looper. Have you watched Looper yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Have you watched it?
I
What did
enjoyed
you
it.
think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I really like it. I need to watch it again.
I'd go with that. Surprisingly enjoyable. It was. Yeah, it worked.
Well, he was referred to a different film.
Oh.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
no,
Looper.
Looper. That sums up.
Now we're looping
So
off
you're-
something to
so-
not.
so
That
your-
sums up Looper.
So your
It's
3-word
surprisingly-
review for Looper would be
Surprisingly enjoyable tomorrow. Ooh, no. That's not right.
No. Right, let's start again. Let's rewind time and start again. Have you seen Looper, Steve?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Steve.
I have seen Looper. Yes.
Yeah, and I know you're literally answering my question.
I am. Yes.
But I want to know how
No,
you
I
feel
enjoyed
about
it. It was good.
Good.
And it was surprisingly enjoyable Looper.
What do you know? Move on.
The casting news of Joe Gilgan as Cassidy. Rebecca Bex at Arbitrary Genius said amazing casting.
It is very good casting.
is.
Very pleased.
I concur.
And in regards to the Lex Luthor pick, Stephen Harrington at FilmStevo94 says he does look intimidating and very serious. Definitely raising my curiosity.
Super ethereal.
Ethereal.
Definitely.
Yes. On this week, the Geeks have baked. Bex at Arbitrary Genius said, by the way, for Fantastic Four, can we all make invisible cakes?
I
We already did.
Yeah.
They're in front of you.
Ah.
Ramlin.
And she also said, if I were being cheeky, I would submit soft pretzels for Reed Richards. It's a stretch, though. And put a picture up of some awesome looking
I like
pretzels.
that. I like
They
it.
looked good.
They
I
did
like
look nice.
Yeah.
I enjoyed baking. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
good.
Shame nobody wanted to enjoy our
It is
produce.
a real shame, isn't it? Who would do such a thing?
I not too soon. Let's give it enough time so it don't get stale. But eventually we should have a freeway dance next time. Freeway
Yeah.
bakes. What do you think?
I'm on it.
I want to do some bread.
What's a good trio? Like, think of a cool geeky trio.
Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman.
That's true. The Trinity.
Can I be Wonder Woman?
We're baking, Steve.
Oh, right. Can I dress up while baking?
We could do that and then have a Batman theme, Superman theme,
Yeah.
Wonder
Fancy dress
Woman.
baking.
Sounds like far too much.
Or we
work.
could have the Ninja Turtles. Because there's
Yeah.
only 3 of them now.
Yeah, there is. I was
Yeah.
about to say the sad news. It's like, oh, okay.
And plus, none of us would have done Donatello anyway.
We'd all come with Raphael. Oh.
Yeah, we've done 3 Raphaels.
Yeah.
Good luck
I
at
know,
that.
Raphael, I know.
You know, quite heartened me because I remember running around when I was a kid in my Ninja Turtles outfit with my bandana on across my eyes and then little swords, and it looked like Turtles had gone a few years ago, and now kids are running around doing it again. So I saw a couple of kids running around with the
You can
and
get really
that's-
cool backpacks that are like...
Yeah.
and that's nice because even though Michael Bay's Turtles was obviously quite average, at least it's brought that back. I like to see. I don't like to see this Ben 10 business. I don't give a shit about Ben 10.
Kevin 11.
Yeah.
I want to relate to my. If it's still around when I have kids, I'd love to play with the modern day Transformers if I grew up with them. You know what I mean?
I always use the analogy of like Star Wars in that we all waited and hoped for the best for the prequels, and then we got Jar Jar Binks and we all get angry, we hate them. My little brother and sister literally can't tell the difference between all those films. They see no dip or raise or difference
But you're
in
just
quality.
happy that they're enjoying Star Wars.
But I love the fact they like them all. In fact, I envy them that they can watch them seamlessly and enjoy them because I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. I saved this shout from last week. Tom Pritchard, at Tom Pritchard8. One to ponder. As someone who has little experience in the comics, Gotham is far more enjoyable than Flash or Arrow. Arrow took far too long to get going. I've tried to get into it a few times, but can't. Perhaps it's just the writing. And with the Flash, it's the casting. I like TC and Ed, and maybe I can see part of that. Really don't like Gigi, though. Gotham isn't a classic by any means, but the production is much better and it feels less claustrophobic. Casting is okay.
It makes an interesting point with the claustrophobic, because Arrow and Flash, they have set settings because you have to do a few bottle episodes and stuff, because obviously they spend a lot of money on costumes and effects, as you might expect. It's a very interesting point, I thought, actually, because obviously I come from a perspective of a DC fan, so I get so excited by the teasers and the promises and the guest stars and the villains and so on and so on. So maybe I do bring a lot to it, but I get a lot from it because of that, and it caters to me specifically. So I'm in heaven. Whereas Gotham, a lot of my reservations about it is knowing it's misstepping, which again is because I'm bringing a lot to it. Which is probably wrong. I should just let it go. But like I say, Gotham's stupid. Even in its own internal logics, it's stupid. But it's a camp noir. I realised this recently. It's just a camp noir that's going to do this thing over here with Batman villains that shouldn't exist yet. And it's weirdly funny and watchable and stupid. So I see his point. Good for him. I like Gotham as well. But it's not in the league of the others. It's not. Okay. But it's very interesting. I'd love to know if anyone else does like comics feels that way. I'd love to gauge that somehow, if possible. And Flash. I can people who find that too cheesy and don't bother. I completely understand. But you're missing out. You're so missing out, because I swear I nerdgasm for about 6 days and then the next one's on again. So awesome.
To throw back to the Man of Steel debate, we were asking your thoughts, and if you didn't like it, could you justify why without just going, it was crap? We got a couple of responses. Thank you, Luke Pietnik, at Luke Pietnik. Man of Steel's characters lack depth. It's also recklessly destructive without the implication of emotional consequence.
There's the character called Jenny who works in the paper.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bit where she's trapped under debris, and we spend ages seeing Perry White try and get her out, and it's
we keep
scary.
Going back to it, don't we?
Isn't that the exact opposite of what I've just said?
Maybe so.
Isn't that the whole point of me seeing that?
And Freya,
sorry,
no, go on.
That sounds a bit dismissive of a valid opinion.
Sure whether you'd...
But because I love Luke a bit, but like I think recklessly destructive. Will it be when we deal with all the consequences in the sequel? Devoid of emotional consequence. Is it when there's an avatar for it in the actual film?
More directly than, say, Avengers, when the city was being attacked by aliens, buildings were coming down in that. We didn't hear one little moan about that, did we?
No, and the difference
but that's
is
more emotionally void.
The lighter tone of Marvel goes, oh, well. Whereas this tries to be a bit more earnest and dense, so people go, well, why haven't they done that? Or they could have done this. And then I just think, it's viewed in a different way that I think slightly unfair.
I'm definitely going to rewatch it.
If you think they like that, though, that's fair.
That's fine.
Because I probably infer a lot onto them, for like I just said about the TV shows, because I'm seeing these characters in various mediums.
Yeah.
And I know a lot, and it's just another interpretation. So I probably infer a lot, or pick up on subtleties and whatever. Whereas they probably are quite arch or 2D or simple, because there's a lot going on. But so that's fair.
And Freya at Roller Best on that said, I mostly remember being a bit bored during Man of Steel. But she's not seen it since the cinema, which is same for me. So I think we might sit down and watch it.
I think that's the one that I can't really. If you, as I said earlier on, if it's the more fast-paced thing you like, then maybe Man of Steel's not the superhero film for you. That's one argument I can kind of get. But at the same time, boring shouldn't mean it's shit. And I don't think Freya's saying that. I think
it's an intangible thing. Like you can't, like, unless they articulate why they weren't interested. Boredom's just a hard thing to define or explain, isn't it?
If I find a film boring, The lowest it would be a 5. I think it would have to start being bad or offensive to start going to 4s and 3s and 2s.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a massive nerd. I never get bored during superhero film because I always find something interesting happening, even if they're just waffling about backstory. I get, if anything, I love those things.
I don't know.
Exposition in superhero films, like a weird guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it. I think I don't remember a lot about it. I remember being very and I think maybe I do. Maybe my
you did give it 4, and you were shouting about it.
I
when
wasn't
we
keen.
it.
Yeah, but I in hindsight, I want to go back. But I don't remember being very blown away by it, and I think
it's ironic
what
he's
we've
got
had
ice
before.
But again, I wasn't
flat.
blown away, and that's why I find this whole debate weird, because I just think it's okay, but I don't see what.
It's because it is at worst okay.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I don't think there's a debate. I think it's it's at least okay.
Yeah.
That some people really like, and for some reason some people like to shit on.
But
because it's cool to like Marvel.
I don't know if that again is quite dismissive though, and I still want people to send.
Wrong.
Yeah.
I still want people to send in their opinions on this, because I think there's still ground to
I'm just playing. They're all valid responses, and some things you can't define. Being bored's a perfectly valid thing to say.
But I have agreed with Freya. We're going to watch it again because neither of us have seen it since the cinema.
But you won't pay attention if you watch it together. You won't. You'll all talk, and I'll have to tell you. I'll have to tell you why that's cool.
I think it is one you have to sit down on your own, because if you sit with someone else, they'll be whispering their opinions in your ear, and then your opinions change.
Unless you both sit down and I'm in the middle and I talk you through like a DVD commentary.
But then you'd be swaying it.
Yeah.
So
but
you need to make your own opinion.
Can I do that for all our listeners? Can I tell everyone what to think? The world would be better. Wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it? Yes. Sorry, I'm just in a funny mood today. I'm just playing with y'all. We got
an awesome horror action trailer, The Void Movie, by Stephen Katanski, who directed Manborg, Biocop, and ABC's section in ABCs of Death 2, and Jeremy Gillespie. I watched it. It looked incredibly good.
I think I'm happy because they were or are part of Astron 6, but part of Astron 6 who went on to do the editor, and they've been focusing on this. I really like the look of it because it's the first straight-faced Astron 6 film, and it looks incredibly creepy, incredibly dark, and it's combining that kind of cult thing that some films seem to be obsessed with at the moment, but bringing in some really grotesque practical effects. And they've just finished a crowdfunding. They have crowdfunded it. It's all greenlit, and the crowdfunding was to get special effects started. The film is happening. The film has its own budget. The film is going to be a proper film. This was just to get them a head start on those amazing effects and make more effects, and I have put in towards it. So I think this is going to look really cool.
Definitely. Looks really, really good. And lastly, 5 years to the day, the 26th of March, which was a couple of days ago, the Hot Tub Time Machine released. What would you do if you had one?
The Hot Tub Time Machine
was released. It released itself onto the world with John Cusack.
I would go back to the 26th of March 2010.
Yeah.
And go to a theatre and then watch probably Scott Pilgrim or Kick-Ass. What was out in 2010?
Oddly enough,
that was 2009.
Oddly enough, Sarah Inkson at Got to Be Cynic to Win It says, go back 5 years and not watch it. John Cusack let me down that day.
Him in particular.
John Cusack.
You let me down, man.
You let me down, John Cusack.
That's weirdly the most sort of guilting, like, emotional way to phrase it, isn't it? Like, you let me down.
John Cusack. Danny Mac at Danny Mac 25. Reckon I'd go meet some old greats. Einstein would be on my list. Shakespeare too. We'd hang out and have a beer.
But then they say
you don't have like reference points.
I know, and then you say don't meet your heroes. What if you did find Einstein was just a complete prick?
Yeah. You like watch Top Gear.
Yeah. I watch Top Gear.
I know. I'm joking. Complete
The
joke.
Top Gear one's funny because this is a Man of Steel debate because people either fervently hate it, want to throw it out the window and shit on it, but they think you're some bigot who likes enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm just someone who thinks Jeremy Clarkson's a fucking idiot, but I still like watching Top Gear. It's entertaining.
Which is fine.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong
but
with
for
it.
some reason,
it's
to be polarised everyone.
As long as you hate Clarkson, I'm alright. Do what you want. Yeah, you'd have no reference points.
Would you? Yeah, but and if you
Have
told
you
him,
seen Back to the Future? Oh no, you
If you
haven't.
told him,
Because that's the topic.
yeah.
Have you seen Hot Tub
Have you
Time
seen Hot
Machine?
Tub Time Machine?
Wow.
Whatever. Go on.
If you had a hot tub time machine, you were born 5 years previous.
But then Doctor Who, Doctor Who manages it.
That's when. What do you mean, Doctor Who,
He
man?
visits
Who's Doctor Who, man?
Doctor Who man. He manages it.
Dr. He-Man.
Doctor
Who's
He-Man.
Doctor He-Man?
Doctor He-Man. Doctor Who flips from time to
Who's Doctor He-Man?
You have power, Jim. I don't. You suck words from.
I have the medical degree!
My point was Doctor Who flips from time zone to time zone, taking people with him, and they
Yeah.
always find things to chat about. You'd be alright.
It's because the TARDIS translates for them.
Or maybe the Hot Tub Time Machine does.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
It's a hot tub.
It's a phone box.
My point just is, you'd want. She wants to meet them because they're fascinating people who shape the world irrevocably.
Yeah.
But seeing as we're from different periods of time and eras, we have nothing to
Skip to the end.
We don't have any sort of common reference points to make for a fascinating conversation. If anything, you probably know more about science than Einstein because your basic knowledge we know now is better than things he pioneered and came up with then.
But Bill and Ted did it as well, and that worked. Anyway, Dave at Wilbro Jr. 36.
Well, if Bill and Ted worked.
In Geek World, I'd go back and tell Bill Finger to not lose the credit for creating Batman.
And that's true. That's why I always make a point of saying Bob Kane and Bill Finger when anyone asks me who created Batman, because that's true. It's the same reason you should always say Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Or Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Or Stan Lee and... I think that's it.
Any more pairings, tweet in.
Joe Simon?
Hashtag
Is
Scott
that
Taylor.
the Captain America one?
I don't know.
Credit the artists who co-create
yeah.
these things, people. It's annoying.
Definitely.
Be like going, Scott and Andrew's Weekly Geek Speak. How would you feel? Exactly, you're upset, aren't you?
No, cry.
You put your loads into this, haven't you? You're a third of it, aren't you? You talk every few minutes. You almost say sentences. How would you feel if we called it Scott and Andrew's Weekly Geek Speak? Oh, he's upset now.
Crying.
I only imagine. I was trying to prove. So respect the artists.
So
Yeah.
respect the artist and subscribe to Weekly Geek Speak.
To
on-
Scott and Andrew's Weekly.
Scott and
Geek
Andrew's Weekly Geek Speak. on
True,
Twitter.
Steve.
Speak. No, you don't get to
Don't ruin
name
it.
it. It's Scott and Andrew's.
On iTunes,
Don't ruin it.
on iTunes, Spreaker, Podcast Land, and Stitcher. Was us a review or two. Follow us at Weekly Geek Speak on Twitter. Find us on Facebook. Weekly Geek Speak is also our website, weeklygeekspeak.com. And if you have any stories about getting noshed off by goose, just let us know. Do you have anything else?
I was going to mention the screening.
Oh, the screening is on at the 7th of April, which is Tuesday. We'll be showing Super Mario Brothers. Come along for popcorn
At the
and
Green Room.
laughs.
In Sheffield.
At the Green Room in Sheffield, sorry, yes. And also we have a YouTube series. Please do check it out. Scott will be bashing two dolls together, making love, and
It's quite literally what it is.
getting scared.
Getting scared at animatronic. I'm going to say puppets. They're not really puppets if they're animatronic, are they? Or is that a feel?
They are the mechanically controlled puppets, I guess. Anyway, we're getting into a different
If you want
territory. I'm going to
girly
stop this now
screams.
because this podcast is probably 9 hours now, and you're fed up of us. Have a good weekend.
How do you know it's the weekend?
I don't know. Have a good day. How do you know it's the
Have a
day?
good life.
Oh, pedantry.
Just have a good
Oh,
wasp.